All right, welcome back. We're gonna start building the rest of our cave, right? So we'll go back to our master file. You can just click window and then go between the files that you're flicking through. So we want to basically create a couple more pieces to connect the structure of our cave, right? So we're gonna click sketch. Now we're gonna create the ground that goes below the cave, basically the floor of the cave. So I click sketch and then I'm going to click on the bottom because it's going to go below our cave. And then I'm going to zoom out just because it's a little disorienting. And then I'm going to click on one corner here. I'm going to zoom in, click on one corner, and then click out in space and press escape. So basically we want this rectangle to be aligned to the floor at a 90-degree angle, and it's just going to be another like cardboard sheet, right? So so we want these to like perfectly align, right? So this is a good area where I can show you the constraints. So we right now it auto constrained the corner because we picked the corner of this rectangle to start our corner of our new rectangle. This is constrained by coincident. So now we have to take this other point and drag it down, and it'll snap to the other end. So now this black line is fully defined. So this edge is exactly the same amount of distance as this piece because it's like fully constrained, right? So now we want to, this line is still blue, which means we can drag it in and out of the page, but we want it to be exactly one sheet of our cardboard. So this is also a super useful tool. Also, if you don't have any of these bars or these like ribbon tabs, you just click right click, you press tab, and then you can check any that you want and like make it if you want it like how I have it, whatever. Or if I'm talking about something that you don't see, that's how you bring it up. But if you go to evaluate, um, I don't know if it's set to M by default, but I set a key binding for mine to be M for measure. So if I click that and then I click anything in 3D space, it'll tell me exactly what I'm looking for to measure. So that length is 228.6. That's not what we need though. We need basically, so the lengths are the same of our pieces, right? So we need what is the height of our cardboard piece. So that's 152.4. A pretty useful thing is if you just left click this, it'll highlight and then it'll copy it. It'll store it on your clipboard. So now if I go to this guy and I dimension it and I just press Control V, boom, exactly how we want it. And then go back to features. Now we're going to extrude this and then we're going to press 2.8. And then this is important. So we're going to uncheck merge result because we want to, and then click OK. So now what it's done is it's created two separate pieces. So now in one part file, we have two separate parts. And basically that's how it's going to be in real life, right? Because you're going to have one piece of cardboard as the front entrance and then another piece of cardboard as the ground, and then we're going to glue them together. So that's sort of how I like to model. I like to model anything that I'm like making, I'll model in our master file. And it'll be like the controller of all of my different parts. And then any like electronic components or anything like that, that's what I'll bring in through like GrabCAD into my assembly file. So just so we don't get too unorganized, I'll show you what happens if you press merge result. Then it creates one body and it connects these two. But we don't want that, right? So we're gonna right click this and uncheck merge result. And the way that I did that is you right click, edit feature, right? So now I'll just label these just so I have, just to like keep it clear. So this front one, if you double click it, this will just be like front panel. And then we'll name this one like ground panel. Right? And then we're going to want 2 sidewalls, right? So we'll click sketch again. And the same thing, we're going to do the same thing, right? It's pretty basic. Where right now it's pretty simple. We're just making a box, right? So you snap onto one corner, pulling it out into 3D space. So now here's a good example. We want these two heights to match. But instead of we could press the measure tool and figure out, okay, what height is this? And then so this height is crap, that I picked the wrong one. This height of this edge is 152.4. You could click copy. You could click dimension. You could go here, control V like we did before. Boom. Now that's how we want it, right? But that's stupid. Okay, there's a better way to do that. So if you click the line and then you click what we've already created in 3D space, you click this edge. We want those two to be on top of each other. We create a constraint called collinear. Boom. Now they snap onto each other exactly how we want. Now they're right on top of each other. Cool. So now this line is undefined. We want to try and make sure all our lines turn black. So let's see what our length is. I keep doing this. I always I don't know. I always forget what I'm working with and I just use the measure tool a bunch, but it's super useful. So now, boom. Oh, whoops. It wants the length, right? So we type this in. Boom. Okay. Great. So now this is fully defined. We'll extrude this out. Make sure you're going out instead of into the page. 2.8 thickness again, that's fine. We're going to uncheck merge result because this is a new cardboard piece. Boom. Okay. Now let me show you a trick. Because we were smart about how we created our design, let's turn on our planes, right? Because we were smart and we built everything around the origin, this makes our life way easier when we need to do things that are like repetitive, right? So basically what I want to do right now is I created one sidewall and I want this sidewall on the left side to appear exactly on the right side. But instead of making a sketch and doing all the steps again, SOLIDWORKS makes it very easy if you design smart. So we built around the origin. What we're going to do is we're going to press mirror and we're going to replicate that wall to the other side. So this first option is what do you want to mirror about? What is the middle point that you want to mirror? So because we built on the origin, we can just click right plane since that's right in the dead center. If you're working all within one body or one part, which we're not, have a couple of separate parts going on, you can click feature. But because we're building different bodies, it's asking what do you want to mirror? So we want to mirror a body. So we're going to click bodies to mirror, and then we're going to click the body we want to mirror, and it gives you a little preview of how that looks. And then you click OK, and boom. Now we got 2 side panels, and we didn't have to do any work for the second one. So super useful tool right there. All right. So we got a decent amount done in this one. We got the ground in and we got the side panels, and I showed you how to use mirror. So I'll show you in the next part. We'll move on to the next step.